But just when they were about to leave the room, something unexpected happened. Bees started coming out of the calabash. They were stinging them. They ran out all the way to the village square. And right there in front of everyone, including Ngozi, Ezine's mother started confessing. Once upon a time in a small village, there lived a girl named Ngozi. She has been deaf and mute since she was born. Ngozi's life was hard. Her father died in a big fire incident long ago. People blame Ngozi for her father's death because she was the one cooking the night that their house got ablaze. But no one really knew what happened. Ngozi lived with her stepmother and stepsister, Ezine. They had a big farmland left by Ngozi's father. They lived well, but Ngozi didn't. She had to do small jobs. Every day Ngozi worked hard. She fetched water for people in the village, washed their clothes and did more jobs just to get money to feed herself because her stepmother wouldn't cater for her. Despite all this hard work, when Ngozi came back home in the evening, she still had to cook for her stepmother and Ezine. They just sat and watched, happy to be taking advantage of Ngozi's disabilities. Ngozi couldn't say anything. She couldn't hear or speak. But she was kind and did her work. Sometimes when Ngozi went to the village, people looked at her. Some felt sorry for her. They knew she was a good girl, but some believed she caused the fire. They whispered when she passed by, but poor Ngozi couldn't defend herself because no one could understand her. After all, she couldn't speak. One night Ngozi had a dream. She saw the night of the fire. There was a shadow near the house. But it was hard to see who it was. This dream came to Ngozi often. It was like a puzzle she couldn't solve. Ngozi's life was not easy, but she didn't give up. She was strong and kind. Even with all the hard work and how people treated her, she kept going. Ngozi hoped that one day things would get better. One day, Ngozi and her stepsister Ezine went to the stream. They needed to fetch water. The stream was where everyone in the village got their water. So it was a busy place with people coming and going. At the stream they saw an old woman. She was trying to lift a heavy calabash full of water. It looked too heavy for her. Ezine saw the woman but didn't want to help. She just wanted to get her water and go back home. But Ngozi was different. She saw the old woman struggling and felt sorry for her. Ngozi went to the woman to help. She didn't think twice about it. She took the heavy calabash from the old woman. Ezine was not happy. She told Ngozi they didn't have time for this and that if they got home late, she would tell her mother that Ngozi was playing in the stream. But Ngozi, who couldn't hear, didn't listen. She proceeded to help the woman. The old woman was so thankful. She smiled at Ngozi. Ngozi felt happy she could help. The old woman then told Ngozi something special. Using her hands to communicate with Ngozi, she said the calabash was magical. It could grant wishes. Ngozi didn't believe it at first. But the woman insisted. She gave the calabash to Ngozi as a gift for her kindness. Ngozi didn't know what to say. She just held the calabash looking at it. The old woman then told her that when she is alone, she should open the calabash and make a wish. Anything she wished for, she would get. Ngozi thought about it. But before she could say anything, the woman was gone. It was like she vanished. Ngozi went back home with Ezine. She carried the magical calabash. Ezine was curious about it. She asked Ngozi what the old woman said. But Ngozi couldn't tell her. She couldn't speak. She just showed Ezine the calabash and smiled. Ezine got more curious. She didn't understand why the old woman gave Ngozi the calabash. But Ngozi couldn't explain. She just had a feeling that this calabash was important. When they got home, Ezine told her mother everything. She spoke fast. Her eyes were bright. She said, "Mama, Ngozi got a calabash. It was given to her by an old woman in the stream." Her mother's eyes grew wide. She started to smile. They both thought of the same thing. They wanted that calabash. Ngozi came home later. She had the calabash with her. She was quiet, like always. But she had a small smile. She felt happy about the calabash. She didn't know Ezine had told their mother. Ezine and her mother waited. When Ngozi put down the calabash, they took it. They were fast. Ngozi turned around and the calabash was gone. She saw Ezine and her mother with it. Then her stepmother asked, "Where did you get this beautiful calabash and what is its purpose?" Ngozi's heart started to race. She felt sad and afraid. She wanted to cry, but she didn't. She knew if she didn't tell the truth, her stepmother will beat her. So she explained using sign language with her hands. It is a magical calabash. I got it from an old woman at the stream. It can grant wishes. Eager to make use of the magical calabash for themselves, Ezine and her mother went to their room. They were excited. They opened the calabash. They wished for money, jewels, and many things. But nothing happened. They tried again. Still nothing. They were confused and got real mad. They didn't understand what was going on. But just when they were about to leave the room, something unexpected happened. Bees started coming out of the calabash. They were stinging them. They ran out all the way to the village square. And right there in front of everyone, including Ngozi, Ezine's mother started confessing. She said she was the one who set their house on fire when Ngozi's father died. She was behind Ngozi's mother's death too. And she was the one who made Ngozi deaf and mute when she was born. She had used a charm from an herbalist. Ngozi stood there, sad, crying. But what nobody knew was Ngozi had already opened the calabash before she got home. Right after she left the old woman, she whispered her wish into it. A wish to be able to speak and hear. And then in front of everyone, Ngozi started to speak. Her voice was clear. Her words were perfect. The villagers couldn't believe their ears. Her stepmother and Ezine were frozen in shock. The villagers listened to Ngozi. They were surprised. Some couldn't believe what they were hearing. Ngozi stood there, talking to everyone. She told them all about the years of mean treatment she got from her stepmother. Her words were touching. And the villagers listened. They could see her pain. They could feel it. Her stepmother and Ezine. They were ashamed, standing there with everyone looking at them. Ngozi's time had come. She felt sad but also relieved. She had been quiet for so long. Now she was speaking out. She told them everything. She told the villagers about her stepmother's cruelty. Her words flowed like a river that had been held back for too long. The villagers were angry at the stepmother and Ezine. They wanted justice. They supported Ngozi. They said they would help her. They would make things right. Ngozi's stepmother and Ezine were taken away. They would face the village elders. Ngozi stood there, surrounded by the villagers. They were cheering for her. They said sorry for not believing her before. Ngozi felt a weight lift off her. She had been alone for so long. But now she had the whole village with her. It was a moment of vindication for Ngozi. After years of silence and suffering, she was finally heard and believed. Her wish to speak and hear had not only given her a voice but had also unveiled the truth, liberating her from the chains of lies and deceit. You see, this story teaches us that no matter how difficult the circumstances, inner goodness and truth will always prevail. It also highlights the importance of not judging others based on appearances or disabilities. I hope you love the story. If so, please like the video, share it with your friends and family, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell for more stories like this one. Goodbye.